Black people, join the followers of Messenger Elijah Muhammad Savior's Day. Celebrate the birth of our Savior, Allah, Master Farad Muhammad, Wednesday, February 26, 2020, at Muhammad's Temple of Islam, Free Admission, 12609 East McNichols in Detroit, Michigan.
What the black man and woman needs to know about the nation, about the world, about themselves. Muhammad Speaks It. To order your 12-issue subscription to Muhammad Speaks newspaper, 313-371-7033. 313-371-7033.
Kareem Bean Pie is the grand champion of all bean pies. The rich flavor and smooth texture takes this pie to a whole new level of delicious. One bite and you'll understand why people all over the country call daily to order Kareem Bean Pie. 313-371-7033. That's 313-371-7033. Kareem Bean Pie.
This bean pie is delicious.
Muhammad Speaks presents Messenger Elijah Muhammad's Teachings by Minister Khalil Shabazz every Sunday from 2 to 3 p.m. at Muhammad's Temple of Islam, 12609 East McNichols Road in Detroit.
Sister, rise for prayer. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful. So, Master's Day of Judgment in which we now live, the alone do we serve, and the alone beseech for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path, path of those upon whom thou hast bestowed thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor those who go astray after they heard thy teachings. Say he, Allah is one God. Allah is he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none deserve to be served, worship to praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is our true servant and last apostle. Ameen. We'd like to acknowledge the brothers and sisters that extended us the greetings of Assalamu alaikum. We have Brother Jamil from New York. We have Brother Calvin Hankins from Virginia. We have Brother Calvin Shabazz from Atlanta. And we have Brother Mustafa and Sister Sharice from Ohio. I'd like to say in the name of Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, and the name of his last and greatest messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, I'd like to greet the brothers and sisters with the Nation of Islam, greeting words of peace of Assalamu alaikum. Today we'd like to talk about the flag of Islam, the flag of Christianity, and which one represents black power. Because today, or this month, is Black History Month. And they always try to leave out the message. Whenever they talk about anything, when they talk about the black pride, now they talk about the black power, and they always, say that, the Panthers or Stokely Carmichael was the one who originated black power. So we want to start with Dr. King's book. It called Where Do We Go From Here? Because we like to use the history that's documented as it was happening. Yes. We don't like using the narrative history where people take history and interpret it for you. We want to read what was people saying during that time. What was they talking about when it comes to black power? Dr. King got a book called Where Do We Go From Here? And he has a whole chapter called Black Power, talking about black power. So he says many of the young people proclaiming black power today were but yesterday the devotees of black-white cooperation and nonviolent direct action. All these young people who not talking all this black power talk, just yesterday, they were devotees to the nonviolent thing. So he says, with great sacrifice and dedication and a radiant faith in the future, they labored courageously in the rural areas of the South. With idealism, they accepted blows without retaliating. With dignity, they allowed themselves to be plunged into filthy, stinking jail cells. With a majestic scorn for risk and danger, they non-violently confronted the Jim Clarks and the Bull Connors of the South and exposed the disease of racism in the body politic. If they are America's angry children today, this anger is not congenital. Now, what does congenital mean? Congenital means something that you inherit from birth. That's what congenital means. So he's saying if they got this anger now, it's something new. They didn't always have this anger for the white man, this black power thing. He says it is a response to the feeling that a real solution is hopelessly distant because of the inconsistencies, resistance, and faint-heartedness of those in power. So he pretty much exposed all these young people who was talking about black power at that time, letting it be known that before y'all was with me. So we got pictures of these brothers with Dr. King. This is a picture of Stokely Carmichael, Dr. King, and this brother named Floyd McKenzie. The history. They was with Dr. King doing the whole civil rights thing, the nonviolent thing. We love the devil. We want a piece of the pie. Then you got another picture of Stokely Carmichael going to jail with the devil. They was fully believing in Dr. King and his whole nonviolent thing. They was trying to integrate with the devil. Christian flag. They was all for it. Then you got pictures of Stokely Carmichael when he was coming to the temple. Him and Floyd McKenzie. This is from the Muhammad Speaks newspaper. This Stokely Carmichael and this Floyd McKenzie. We got all kind of pictures. He was even in the Muhammad Speaks newspaper talking, praising the Messengers program. But the one thing that they leave out in the whole black pride thing or the black power thing is where did they get it from? Who did they pick up on all of this black power and black pride? So we got the Messenger. This right here is Dr. King when he was trying to get the Voters' Right Act from Lyndon B. Johnson. All of the black power people was with this in 1965. The Messenger was the only one who stood against all this integration from the devil and give black people a whole different view of what black power was. Yes. It was the Messenger. All praise is due to Allah. He was the one, only one, who criticized them preachers. Yes. Only one. When black people believed in their heart that what these brothers was doing was good. The Messenger was the Grinch. They talking about the Grinch that stole Christmas. That was the Messenger back then. He was the Grinch to all this black stuff because he was always criticized. Most black people believe that when Dr. King was going to get the Voters' Right Act signed, that's a good thing for black people. That's black pride. That's black power. Now we can vote. We can vote in somebody black. But the Messenger. This comes from the April 9th, 1965 Muhammad Speaks. Yes, and the title is Reverend Martin Luther King. The Messenger says, what are you to gain for our people by your continuous marching? What have you and those marching, over 200,000 people according to reports, gained from your march on Washington, the capital of the government of America, in August of 1963? On March 25th, 1965, according to radio and TV and newspaper reports, you had 30,000 people marching on the capital of Alabama. What do you hope to gain for the people? Is it voting, as you say? If so, voting for whom? It can be none other than for the southern white people to rule your people and yourself. That's the message. Talking about black power. He was like, if you do get this Voters' Right Act, because this was in April, this happened in August of 1965, because the Messenger stayed on. He didn't wait for them to get the Voters' Right Act then talk. while they was working up to it, he criticizing them every week sometime in the Muhammad Speaks newspaper, asking them, what are you going to gain with that? If you do that, what's the gain? Because out of all of the leaders that we ever had, the messenger was the only one that stayed on course from beginning to end.
Yes.
The only one. But you had Dr. King changed. Malcolm X changed.
Yeah.
Stokely Carmichael changed. All of them kept flip-flopping. Because they didn't know exactly what to do to help black people.
Right.
They was, as the messenger said, a blind man trying to feel his way in the dark.
That's right.
They were just going from here to there, flip-flopping. 1 minute this vote is right. The next minute we got to redo our strategy. Now it's not voters' right, it's black power. Kept on flip-flopping. But the messenger was the one who stayed the course.
Yes.
Black power and Islam. All praise is due to Allah. So the messenger, once again, when Dr. King went from that, started talking about brotherhood with the white man. It was the messenger who continuously asked, what are you going to seeking from brotherhood from the devil?
Right.
What's the game if we do get this? Because Dr. King and all of them had intellectual black people as their strategists. They wasn't just coming up with this. This was educated black people coming up with these strategies. Like, we need to get the sympathy of white America. We can't just do this or that. We need the sympathy of white America. So that's why they used to have all of these sit-ins. That's why they used to do the water hose thing, to gain the sympathy of the white man, the Christian.
Right. Yes, sir.
Slavery, suffering, and death. That was the strategy.
Yes, sir.
So the message used to ask, okay, if we get the brotherhood of the devil, what's in it for us? And that caused black people to rethink Dr. King and them preachers. Like, he right. What do we seek to gain if we do win the brotherhood of the white man? So the messenger went on even further. This brother right here is Thurgood Marshall, another top civil rights leader. These brothers wasn't these little low children. These was the top civil rights leaders the messenger got in the paper, criticizing them when they made great strides for black people. Great strides. Thurgood Marshall was the one who integrated the schools. Took it all the way to the Supreme Court. All black people thought this was good for black people. He the Supreme Court Justice, working for the NAACP for the black man. Now this black man that integrated the schools. Now we got integration. All black people thought that was something good. But the messenger, in the Muhammad Speaks newspaper in 1962, this the white man and this Thurgood Marshall. As a little boy, they drew him. In the Muhammad Speaks newspaper. Think about how Thurgood Marshall felt when he saw that. All of this good he feel like he doing, and you get a black newspaper that got him in there like a little boy. Then it got Negro bourgeoisie. Negro bourgeoisie.
Yes.
What does bourgeoisie mean? Because when they used to write about the messenger, they used to call the messenger and the Muslims the black bourgeoisie. They used to say they the blue bourgeoisie of the black militants. That's what they used to call the messenger. So bourgeoisie means, it says a class or group of people with social behavior and political views held to be influenced by private property interests. So bourgeoisie actually means property ownership. Those who are influenced or is trying to gain land ownership. That's what bourgeoisie means. But when the messenger got Thurgood Marshall, it got Negro bourgeoisie.
Yes, sir.
Because bourgeoisie and Negro bourgeoisie is two different things. Negro bourgeoisie is begging the white man for what you need.
Yes, sir.
Bourgeoisie means this person is land ownership. That's what they influence in this group, is to own land. So the messenger got in the Muhammad Speaks, and this the white man talking to Thurgood Marshall. It says, certainly you're equal to me, Thurgood. Who cares about your not having any land of your own, nor any factories or diesel trains or jet aircraft? or any electric power plants, mills, research institutes, mines, fisheries, hospitals, libraries, clothing and shoe factories, chain stores in your neighborhoods, processing food plants. Who cares that I'm the maker of your Cadillacs, TVs, movies, chewing gum, false teeth, matches, toothpicks, your toilet paper, just because you're too lazy to provide your own folks with even a few of life's necessities. You're still my equal, all right, boy? Oh, yes. The master.
Yes, sir.
All praise due to Allah. He go all the way in on Thurgood. Because the difference about the messenger back then, when he was alive, he didn't pull no punches. He didn't pull no punches on nobody. When he felt like it's time for me to write an article on this person, he was going in. All the way in. Sometimes if you was somebody who he felt like you was trying to do what was right for black people, he'd kind of, you know, but it still was like, wow. Because the way he used to analyze stuff used to be straight to the point. It wasn't no bashing you about your personal stuff. It wasn't trying to belittle you because I think I'm better than you as a leader. It was straight to the heart of what you talking about. Straight to the heart. Where everybody who read it like, wow, I never thought about that. When I saw Thurgood Marshall and integrating school, I never thought about we don't have no processing plants, food processing plants. We don't even provide toothpicks for the black man. Who thought of that? When Thurgood Marshall, this took years. Thurgood Marshall is a highly educated black man. He's a Supreme Court justice. Ain't no fool doing that. But in his intelligence, being raised by the white man, he thought integration was good too. So then we can go on even further than that. Here we got this Thurgood Marshall wit, Roy Wilkins. Top civil rights people, NAACP. Messenger criticizing him too. This is in the Muhammad Speaks newspaper. It's called Trick or Treat Time. It says, for you, boy, with the president's compliments. And he giving him a little gift. Soon as Roy Wilkins doing something that he feel like is good for the black man, the NAACP. I'm doing this for the black man, but the messenger criticizing what he doing. Constantly talking about black power for the black man. Constantly talking about, because the messenger told us about our flag. He told us that this is a universe flag. Yes, sir. What is the universe? What does it mean when you say universe? It says the universe is everything we can touch, feel, sense, measure, or detect. It includes living things, planets, stars, galaxies, dust clouds, light, and even time. Even time is included in universe. You talking about everything we can touch, feel, sense, measure, or detect. It includes living things, planets, stars, galaxies, dust clouds, light, and even time. The universe contains billions of galaxies, each containing millions or billions of stars. The space between the stars and galaxies is largely empty. This the messenger. He said this is what belongs to the black man. All praise due to Allah. That's what belongs to us. Everything we can feel, see, touch, sense, all that belongs to the time belongs to the black man. That's the message. He was always talking about black pride. Yeah. He always putting the star and crescent on his hats, on the uniform. Always talking about black pride. Yeah. Everything belongs to the black man. Right. Who is the original man? The Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. Black power. But the white man in Christianity, his flag. What does his flag mean? This is the flag of the United States of America. It says the U.S. flag, also known as Old Glory, the Star-Spangled Banner, or simply the Stars and Stripes, have been an important national symbol since its official birth on June 14, 1777. Let's look at what each part of the flag represents. It says 50 stars represent the 50 states within the U.S. 13 stripes, the 7 red and 6 white horizontal stripes, represent the original 13 colonies. How the black man, what that got to do with the black man? When we was integrating, this is what we were trying to integrate into. Even when we were talking about black power, because the black power brothers were still talking about voting, still talking about politics. They wasn't talking about having our own universe flag. They were still talking about getting a piece of the white man's pie. And his flag represents the stripes for him represent the red, and the 6 white horizontal stripes represents the original 13 colonies. Some robbers. That was who stole this land from the Indians. That's what all this means to the white man. 13 colonies. He says the red signifies hardiness and valor. So the red pretty much means we done killed and destroyed them Indians. Get this. That's what that means. Then it says the white signifies purity and innocence. So we the devil who done just killed all these Indians to get this, but the white, for the white people, represents purity and innocence. Because in Christianity ain't no law. Christianity. They saved by grace. That's what they say. So even after all that killing they did to get this land, they still say we represent innocence and purity. It says the blue signifies valor and perseverance and justice. The blue represents justice. For who? For the 13 colonies. The white man. His whole flag breakdown don't mean nothing for the black man. Nothing at all. But the messenger. Constantly talking about black power. From the jump. He talking about the black man need to own everything on earth and outside of the earth. Belongs to the black man. So when the messenger began to talk that kind of talk, that's when black people began to start talking about black power. And that's when the messenger also, keeping tabs on them preachers, kept coming out with Muhammad Speaks newspapers exposing them preachers. This called The Gods at War. Then the messenger got a cartoon in The Gods at War. And it's a white police officer with a hat on that say white power. Then the devil tell the preacher, I hate black power. And the preacher say, me too, boss. Me too. Because when Stokely Carmichael and the rest of them civil rights little youngsters started talking about black power, Dr. King didn't like that. He didn't like them talking about no black power. And the messenger saw it. The messenger letting these young people know who read these Muhammad Speaks newspapers. The white man got white power. Why you can't talk about black power? Because the messenger used to slowly build them young people up. Coming at the preacher. Because after he got them black people to start talking about black power, he started criticizing them too. How about you just doing a slogan? What that mean? Right. You just gonna put your fist in the air. You still don't own nothing. Right. But he's slowly building them up. If you look at the history of these Muhammad Speaks newspaper and follow it, the messenger had a plan. Yes, he did. All praise due to Allah. He wasn't just coming out with Muhammad Speaks newspapers trying to bash nobody. No. He knew he had the attention of the black man. That's right. So he was slowly building him up. Slowly building him up. Say, hey, young brother, the one who's saying black power, look at the preacher. Why the white man got white power and you can't have black power? Right. And they start saying, forget Martin Luther King. We want black power. Right. And this began to shake Martin Luther King's whole family. So that's when he started saying, I'm black and I'm beautiful. That's when he started to try to redefine black power and what it means, to try to tell them young people, okay, you want black power, but black power means we need to get voters' rights. Black power means we need to vote somebody black into office so we can control our own community. That's how Martin Luther King began to change. When he saw that the messenger, talking Islam, started to change the hearts of the people, he started changing. The preachers started changing. The civil rights movement started changing. And everybody started copying the teachers of the messenger. because they also used to write articles on the Messenger. This comes from the March 7, 1969 Time magazine. This article wrote on the Messenger called Original Black Capitalists. Original. Because a lot of people start copying the Messenger. Start saying we need land. We need to do for ourselves. We need to do this and do that. But this article says the original black capitalists. It says, despite this foursome facade, however, the Muslims have always been the bourgeoisie of the black militant movement. Always have been. Bourgeoisie means owning land. Yes. Black power. Say always have been the bourgeoisie of the black militant movement. It says today, the sect's 39 years of dogged adherence to the notion of build black, buy black, is paying dividends. 39 years. This shows the difference between the Messenger and all other black leaders. That's right. Because they all flip-flop. The Messenger had a program he was presenting to black people. While he was in jail, he's still presenting the same program. While he on the run, he's still presenting the same program. Yes, while he didn't got nothing, still presenting the same program. When people was hating on the Messenger, still presenting the same program. In 1969, the white man said, after 39 years of dogged adherence to buy black and build black, finally paying dividends. So they even saying, we watched this man with his black power program. Yeah. Stick to his black power program for 39 years. Yes, sir. This was in 1969. So they saying from the beginning, he stuck to his script. Yes, sir. While Malcolm X flipped his. Dr. King flipped his. Stokely Carmichael flipped his so much. This brother now, he first started out with Dr. King. Then he started talking the Black Power thing in the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. This brother with the Panthers now. He with the Panthers. So he go from the Panthers, then he go to the Afrocentric thing. Just kept flipping. Yeah. He didn't know what to do for black people, but when they talk about black power, he the one. The Smithsonian. They got a whole thing on the Black Museum thing they got at the Smithsonian. They got all of the leaders of the Black Power movement. They got Malcolm X on there. They got Stokely Carmichael. They got the Civil Rights Movement. All that. Ain't saying nothing about the message. Nothing about the message. But when you look at the history of what they was talking about while the messenger was alive, they said 39 years. Yes, sir. They can't say that Dr. King for 39 years, he stuck to that civil rights thing. They can't say that Stokely Carmichael for 39 years stuck to his thing, or Malcolm X. But the messenger, build black, that's black power. Yes. All praise due to Allah. Build black, and he stuck to it. That's the one thing that shows the messenger is the messenger of Allah. Yes, your faith and your belief and your trust in Allah comes through for 39 years. Yes. And the messenger even said, I'm going to be the winner whether I'm living or dead. That's what he said. That's how much faith he had in the black power of Islam. Yes, sir. All praise due to Allah. He even used to write in there telling them people, I see you stealing my teachers. Yes, sir. I see you. But he said, if Allah is not with you, you won't be successful. Right. Still all he could say, you can have the truth that could wake our people up. He said, if Allah is not with you, you won't be successful. Right. He was talking black power. Right. And Master Farad Muhammad is the beginning of black power. Yes, sir. That's how he always kept it. 39 years by 1969. 39 years of him working his program. And the white man even giving him props, saying 39 years of his dogged adherence to his program is finally called seeing dividends. So then you see the messenger, he didn't used to just talk about the civil rights movement without comparing it to something or having a solution. He would always compare, this is civil rights, and this is a bum holding out a hat. So he comparing them begging as a bum on the street asking for change.
Yes, sir.
But then he got on the other side, Muhammad's program of self-help.
Yes, sir.
So the messenger wasn't just talking about, oh, you just criticizing them, oh, you don't know what you talking about, what this is. No, my program versus your program.
Yes.
That's how the messenger used to do. My program versus your program. Put your money where your mouth is.
Yes.
Like them brothers that gamble say, big bank take little bank. You don't want to play with them because they got the money.
Right.
Make me or break me when you shooting dice with this brother. You know he got the money.
Right.
The messenger say, put your thing against my thing.
Right.
Then let's see. Oh, praise due to Allah. Put your followers against my followers. Look at my followers. And look at their followers. My followers look better
That's right.
than all of them. Look at my followers. You can tell my followers just by looking at them.
Right. Yes, sir.
There's articles of people writing about looking at a Muslim.
Right.
How they look.
Right.
This brother in Los Angeles. I was reading the article. This was a lost found talking about a brother he used to just see. Say, I saw this man because they used to talk about the messenger in Los Angeles. This brother wrote into the LA Times based on what he saw. He ain't never go to the temple. He said, just for me looking at this brother, he always be polite to me. I see this brother. He always clean shaved. He always got a press suit on every time I see this man. So what they talking about this Muhammad teach hate? What they talking about they violent? He always polite when I see him.
Right.
One brother who following the messenger's program. Black power.
Right.
Praise be to Allah.
Oh, praise due to Allah. Because when you got the messenger's program of self-hate, you change your mind. You got dignity now.
Right.
When you can see what your hands done built. You've been in hell under these Christians for 400 years.
Right.
Now you with the message, you can actually see what your hands done built. That's a whole different kind of thing.
Right.
When I was in the white man's military, I'll never forget. The first time I came home off the airplane in my dress blues, had my Navy hat on and my sea bag. That was my first time coming home. I didn't know I was going to get the reaction I was getting. I walked through the air, as soon as I stepped off the plane, white and black salute me. Like, thank you for your service. I'm like, wow. That gave you a certain kind of pride. And I felt it, and I just walked kind of tall because I was just, you know, let me go to the... But once they started, then you're like, yeah, you know, look at me. So I'm walking with pride with my sea bag now. But when I started to read the teachings of the messenger while I was in the Navy, started feeling ashamed. Because we ain't got nothing as a black man. No black pride. I had all the pride in the world until I started reading the messenger's teachings. I was proud of the white man's uniform. I thought it was something to have his uniform on. But when I began to read about some real black power, I started feeling ashamed. I remember one time we was in, and this was while I was reading on the messenger. We had went to Italy. And they told us the where to go to all people on the ship. You can tell the person your name, and he could trace your lineage back to your whatever country you from. And they said over the thing, except for African American. That kind of,
Yes.
I think that was the nail right there.
Yes.
That was the nail, because I never thought about that. And they just said it, and I'm like, dang, all these white people in there, all these Mexicans, everybody can use their name to trace it back to their people but us.
Yeah.
Like, no, ain't no pride in this at all.
Right.
The black man, we can't even use our name to trace it back to nobody.
Right.
So they telling us black folk, y'all don't even give us y'all name. Y'all just stay out of this. But everybody else, we can trace your lineage back to your home country. So you got the messages continuing to speak black pride and black power. The messenger got Muhammad, God to peace and justice. And you got the 3-year economic program. The messenger talking black power.
Yes.
Because Stokely Carmichael didn't have no economic program. Dr. King ain't had no economic program. Malcolm X didn't have no, but the messenger.
Yeah.
Same economic program he been talking for 39 years. Same one. Talking about giving me nickels and dimes. I read an article where these little kids in the University of Islam, they one day said, instead of us going to the vending machine with our nickels and pennies, we're going to send it to the messenger.
Yes,
He wrote them a letter to each one of them and signed it his name. Thank you. For sending in some nickels and pennies to the kids. Hand personal letter. They had it in the Muhammad Speaks newspaper. Oh, praise. Like, he take time out of his schedule to personally write each one of them kids for some nickels and pennies. I also read when he was talking about black people sending in their money, you would get a receipt for some pennies. That's the message. Dr. King them ain't had no program for black people talking about no black pride and black power like that. Well, you got a program for the black man to follow. Because when you got a successful program or a plan, I was listening to this person talk about money management. He said nobody just by accident becomes wealthy. He said you got a plan to be wealthy. You got to know how to manage your money to become wealthy. You got to sit down and write down a plan for yourself. What you going to spend, how you going to spend it, what you going to save, what you going to invest. It ain't nothing that just happened to you just, oh, I'm rich. He said nobody, because he talked about a rich people or people who win the lotto and how they just lose all their money because they don't know how to manage their money. They don't have a plan. They just get the money and start spending it. The messenger had a black power plan. Right. Telling black people, send in your money. Send in nickels and dimes. Other people without a plan think, well, I'm going to send some nickels. What they going to do with nickels and dimes? But if you got a plan, you can use pennies because it's not what you make or how much you make. It's what you do with what you make.
That's right, brother.
That's what these investors, I've been listening to them. They say, hey, it don't make no difference. He even said, you should learn how to manage your money before you make more money. Say, because if you don't know how to manage the little money you got, if you get some more money, you're going to lose. So if you getting little pennies and crumbs, learn how to manage them pennies and crumbs. Right. Before you start talking about you want to get some more money. That's what he said. I was like, wow, it makes sense. So the messenger had a program of money, an economic program for the whole black nation. Send in money. So the messenger kept going forward in criticizing these preachers. The messenger had another Muhammad Speaks newspaper. It says freedom, justice, and equality. Every time the messenger present his program to the people, it's always Islam. Even when black people began to change or began to hate on him, he never said, well, for the people, I'm going to start saying this. Or for the people, no. Freedom, justice, and equality. Yes, so in this picture, the messenger is criticizing integration. Because that's another thing that these black power people wanted. Because the Panthers, they used to talk against the Muslims because they spoke against the white man. Say, we don't speak against the white man. We'll work with the white man. Integration. Because even though black people was talking about black power, they didn't have a plan. They didn't see the white man as the enemy. They still wanted a piece of the pie. But the messenger said, no, brother, if you want black power, it got to be black power. Right. Oh, praise due to Allah. Ain't a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Black power means black power.
That's right, brother.
You ain't going to want no black power. Stop talking about black power. Stop raising your fist. You ain't never see no Muslim when the messenger was alive talking about no black power. Right. For what? Selling papers is black power.
That's right, brother.
Donating is black power. Charity is black power. Your time is black power. What you dedicate yourself to is black power. It don't make no difference about all of this foolishness. Black power, the messenger talking about. And black power means joining the Nation of Islam under the messenger teaching. That's right. Oh, praise due to Allah. Because that's one thing about the messenger that you will recognize. He didn't support nothing but his own teachings. He didn't support nothing. He would give people advice. Because he used to give Jesse Jackson advice. But he wouldn't support Jesse Jackson to the point of telling black, you need to join Jesse Jackson. He was trying to reel Jesse. Jesse, you shouldn't do that. So maybe Jesse will figure out, like, maybe I should just go ahead and follow him. Right. He giving me all this good advice. Right. Maybe I should, but no. They'll take the messenger teaching. They'll want to take more and more and more. That ain't the point. The messenger tried to help the Panthers to reel them in. Try to show them this is the right way. This is what you should do, brother, to wean them off them guns. They ain't get too proud. They don't want to listen to the messenger. When he's successful, the white man can see that the messenger's sticking to his script and being successful. But the Panthers, all these black power people, ain't got no plan. Ain't got no program. Telling the messenger, don't write about us in your paper.
That's right.
That's the pride of the black man, the jealousy. Because you love the devil.
That's right.
The devil breeds jealousy in our hearts for each other. So if you with the devil, you got the devil in your program. He telling you, listen to him. He talking all that. We need guns. You right. What he talking about this stuff he talking about? They used to criticize the messenger, some of them, for having the economic program. Criticizing him for having that, not wanting to fight. Telling black people don't be the aggressor. That's smart. Even in the white man's military, they tell you when you over there captured, you can't be the aggressor. When I was in the military and when we learned military combat training, listen to what the messenger taught us. It's the same thing they tell you if you get captured. Respect them people when you get captured. They didn't tell us to be over there talking all militant hard. Respect them. Yes, sir. No, sir. They got you.
Yes.
We can't do nothing to help you, so you're going to have to submit to them.
Yes.
You can't go over there in their country acting like, oh, I'm from America. I ain't doing that. Do what they tell you to do. That's what they tell us, for real. I'm telling you, you'll be surprised what they tell you. Do it, because we might not be able to come get you. So when the messenger told us don't be the aggressor and don't pick up arms, that's the same thing the white man, the most powerful government in the world, tell you if you get captured by your enemy. You can't be over there acting crazy. So the messenger's program was successful.
That's right.
And the white man saw that it was successful. And he continued to go on about the message. It says, Southside Holdings. While investments have always been a basic tenet of the movement, Muhammad says we didn't have the money to go into business until now. It says last year the Muslims sank an estimated $6 million in business and real estate. 2/3 of it in Chicago, where the sect is based, says Muhammad. Our goal this year is 10 times that amount. Few black businessmen believe that they will achieve this figure, but even if they double their investments next year, it will be a remarkable performance. So the white man, when you read about the white man writing about the messenger, he was even amazed. How can he take these niggas that we done destroyed mentally?
Right.
We ain't destroyed them fit. We mentally destroyed these niggas. To where their names don't mean nothing. Their diet don't mean nothing. Where they live don't mean nothing. Their education don't mean nothing. But this man can take these brothers from the mud, clean them up, and take their little pennies, and make right investments and not look at how they flourish. After 39 years. Because when we talking about the black power in Islam, we talking about a God. We're not just talking about a blind man trying to feel his way in the dark. We're talking about a God. So when you have a God, you have to have faith in your God. Your God has to show you to build up your confidence. Your God said, pray to me. Depend on me. Listen to my message. So when you do that and you see the messenger producing for you, that's black power. That's what black power is. Because when you under the white man's slavery, suffering, and death, he keep you believing black power is wrapped up in me. That's how you get black power, by voting. So when the white man show us history, he don't talk about the messenger. He talk about Stokely Carmichael now. He talk about Dr. King now. He talk about the same people who he destroyed. Because in his flag, this means valor. Valor means you conquered in the battle. So the white man ain't going to show you nobody who was victorious. He going to show you the people he defeated. This sign is slavery, suffering, and death. It's the sign of death. The white man destroyed all our groups. Every last one of them. But he make you think if they could have lived just another day, they'd have got you all over. So we continue to use they same dead-end programs. We still honor civil rights. We still honor Black Panthers and Black Power. We still look to Stokely Carmichael. And what they did wasn't successful. But the message, the one who they writing about had Black Power from the jump.
Yes, sir.
We don't even want to talk about him. I remember one time I was listening to Tom Joyner. And somebody had said something about Dr. King having all these women. Tom Joyner got upset. He was like, what you mean to say that about Dr. King, this great man? How could you say that about? He didn't even try to get into, oh, for real? Like, well, what happened? He didn't even want to hear that. He didn't even believe it was true. None of that. What you mean? I don't want to hear nothing like that. But the message. A black man that built all this for the black man. Show the black man what real black power is. Somebody say he had, oh, he did? Who was it? Where was it? He said, no, I don't want to hear that. How could this man do that all that he built for black people?
That's right.
If you can look at Dr. King and see how he'll teach you to get bit by a dog. I done seen them civil rights things, them devils, I don't know how they teach them that. They had dogs, and the brother would just stand there and let the dog just be biting them. Like, that's what Dr. King was teaching them to do. Teaching you to take on water hoses. That the water coming out 95 PSI. They got some water that can come to them hoses that can knock people over. Standing up. That's how hard and how fast that water coming out. But Dr. King and them preachers teaching you how to withstand that. But we as black people think so highly of them. If they say anything bad about Dr. King, we don't even want to hear. But the man talking about real black power, we'll listen to all that. We'll take his student's word over. The message. But they went on about the message. It says, lovely service. It says, in Cleveland, the sex own a string of stores with interesting names. Among them, the Shabazz Kosher Market. So the messenger taking our names and making our name mean something. All praise is due to Allah. Jenkins, Jackson, Jones, Smith, and Culpeper don't mean nothing. So the messenger would take Shabazz, put Shabazz on the restaurant. The messenger take the Star and Crescent and put it on top of the restaurant. Put it on top of the mosque in New York. That was the message. Black power. The white man hating on Islam. The messenger take us there, have it spinning. It wasn't like it was just like the cross, it's spinning in the sky. Let everybody know the accomplishments of the messenger. The messenger had the Muhammad Speaks newspaper warehouse where you can see the sign from the freeway. That was the message. Black power.
Yes, sir.
But see, like the messenger say, we don't want Islam. That's the problem. We don't want to clean ourselves up and devise ourselves of the devil's habit. So, we ignore all of that from the messenger. The messenger got the solution.
That's right.
Not only did he have the solution, he worked his solution.
Yes.
The one thing about the messenger that I like, he got the restrictive laws for us. He followed the restrictive law.
Yes.
They used to write articles about the messenger talking about how they was amazed at how he never went to these black tie affairs. Never. Never went to these black. They used to show Jesse Jackson them in them tuxedos with the devils drinking wine. So the messenger ain't never go to them. He was always in his house. Even the devils used to write about that. He always in his house, telling black people what to do. I remember I read the messenger said, Louis Lomax asked him, he said, have you ever been to them farms? He said, I've never been. He said, I tell them what to do, and I know if they do what I tell them, they're going to be successful.
Yes, sir. That's right. Yes, sir.
I was like, wow. I never thought about that. He said, I never seen a lot of this stuff. I ain't never seen this. Some of these temples I ain't never been to. But when I tell them, I know if they do what I tell me to do, what I tell them to do, they'll be successful.
Yes, sir.
That's a man who believes in his program.
Yes, he does.
Believe in this program to where he could tell, even your parents don't just tell you something without checking to see if you do it.
Right.
No, mine did. My dad used to check behind me all the time. He'd tell me to go do something and just walk past just to see if I'm really doing it. He'd never say, I know if he do it, he'll be, no. Go do what I say, then he walk past. But the messenger got followers. He just tell them, hey, do this, do that. Ain't even check. Just say, I know if they do it, they going to be successful. That's the message. With black power. And the messenger was the only one that taught our people black power. And black power starts with Islam. And in all the temples, the messenger always had which one will survive the war of Armageddon.
That's right.
Because black power is going to win.
Yes.
Black power is offered to us. It's offered to us. We don't have to accept black power. We can accept the white man.
That's right.
But black power is offered to you.
That's right.
Always in your face. Which one you going to choose?
That's right.
You going to choose black power where it's totally black. Well, you going to have to do some work
That's right.
in this black power. And that's what the black man don't want. Doing some work.
Yes, sir.
Because when you vote for the white man to rule, you just go out once a year, however many times, vote for him, go back home and watch the football game. That's all you do. You don't do no work. You hope that they do some work.
Yes, sir.
And when they don't do work, you criticize them. What you doing? You ain't doing no. How you gonna criticize this man to do something for you? You ain't doing nothing for yourself.
Right.
Right.
So the messenger in his black power. First you gotta clean yourself up and devise yourself of the devil's hand. That's work.
That's right.
Oh, praise due to Allah. That's work. You gotta work on yourself. That's the first part of some black power. Working on yourself.
That's right.
I know when I first came in the nation and saw all these rules, I was like, wow. All these, I'm talking about learning about stuff that was wrong. I never fathomed that was wrong. Eating pork and beans, black-eyed peas. I never thought that was wrong. I never thought that would be a part of some black power, changing what you eat.
Yes, sir.
Never heard that in the church. As long as I've been in the church, I never heard nobody tell me what to and what not to eat.
Yes, sir.
Not eating cornbread. Shaving is a part of black power.
Yes,
Being clean is a part of black power.
That's right.
Not being the aggressor is a part of black power. Being neat, being polite is a part of black power.
Right.
All of that, the black man don't want to do. Because the messenger used to talk about these black power people, because what they used to like to do is the messenger say, talk the big talk. That's what we like to do. As soon as we get a little something, we want to talk the big talk. But the messenger say, when the white man come, you can't back up the big talk. So even though these people used to criticize the messenger in his program, they all got destroyed. And the last man standing is Islam.
Yes.
Right.
Which one will survive the war of Armageddon? Well, brothers and sisters, we don't want to prolong the time. But I leave you as I came in the nation of Islam, reading words of peace about Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Enjoying the show? Help keep us on the air. 313-371-7033. That's 313-371-7033 to make a donation.
In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the beneficent, the merciful. So, Master's Day of Judgment in which we now live, the alone do we serve, and the alone seek for thine help and aid. O Allah, please guide us on the right path, path of those upon whom thou wouldst bestow thy favors, not on the path of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor are those who go astray if they heard thy teachings. Say he allows one God, allows he of whom nothing is independent, but upon whom we all depend. He begetteth not, nor is he begotten, there is none like him. And I bear witness that none serve to be served, worship to praise besides Allah, who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. And I bear witness that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is our true servant and last apostle. Ameen. Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us not to do anything to anyone that we wouldn't have done it to ourselves, and treat everybody right, even the devil. Assalamu alaikum.
Watch us on YouTube. Search Muhammad's Temple of Islam through your YouTube app, on your phone, smart TV, or your computer. Be sure to subscribe to Muhammad's Temple of Islam when you watch us on YouTube.